Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now, just some quick sports, and I'm tired of talking about it. But the NYPD is looking for a man, they say, threw a sex toy at a WNBA game and hit a preteen girl with it. So,
Damn, that's a sex crime.
yes, so
I don't know if it is or not, but it sounds like one. God damn it. You said you throw a dildo and it hit a preteen. That's a sex crime, damn it.
it's pretty crazy.
Damn, yeah.
What did he throw it at the game?
Yeah, I guess he threw it at the game. That's the only information that they're giving me. It says additional stories. The NYPD is looking for a man, they say, threw a sex toy and hit a preteen.
Stupid.
That is
Couldn't
so
even
messed
reach the
up.
court.
No,
Terrible ass seats.
He's stupid. What's up, Morgan?
Hey, y'all. Hey, how we feeling on this Tuesday?
What's going on?
Good.
All right, let's get into it. So first on front page, of course, if you missed it, President Trump is cracking down on crime in the nation's capital of Washington, D.C. He activated the National Guard to so-called help local law enforcement as part of his plan, and went on to say that that they will be allowed to do their job properly. Now, President went on to claim crime numbers in D.C. are worse than places like Baghdad and Bogota, Colombia, excuse me. And he made those comments while speaking from the White House press briefing room. Let's take a listen.
Under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control. Our capital city has been overtaken by violent gangs and bloodthirsty criminals, roving mobs of wild youth, drugged-out maniacs, and homeless people.
You know, I'm not really a stat guy because I feel like sometimes numbers lie, but how could you make claims about a city being worse than those other countries if the numbers don't add up?
Well, the thing is, it's not true. They're saying violent crime is down 26% from the same time last year, down 51% from this time in 2023, and down 35% from 2019. They say carjackings are down 37% compared to last year, and down 69% compared to 2023.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with any of that. I'm just saying, you know, we had those same discussions here in New York when they was trying to tell us the numbers that were down. But we had that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm wondering just how can you make those claims, you know, about other countries with when people just dismiss the numbers, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Absolutely. So meanwhile, D.C.'s mayor, who, you know, you mentioned, Envy, has called you, she's reacting to the news of President Trump's crimes numbers. Democratic Mayor Muriel Bowser spoke out after Trump placed the D.C. under federal control and activated the National Guard as part of his major crackdown on crime. Now, Bowser thinks Trump's current view on crime in D.C. is shaped by rising crime rates during his first term, but she says crime has dropped since his first term. She also took the opportunity to advocate for D.C. statehood. Let's take a listen to her comments.
And while this action today is unsettling and unprecedented, I can't say that given some of the rhetoric of the past, that we're totally surprised. That is why you have heard me and many Washingtonians before me advocate for full statehood for the District of Columbia. Chief Pamela Smith is the chief of the Metropolitan Police Department.
Oh, yeah, she went on to reiterate also that Police Chief Pamela Smith is in charge. But she also said that she is cooperating with the Trump administration. So hopefully we'll get a chance to speak to her and see how she actually feels about all of this since things are starting to settle in. And just switching gears, actually, it's still related to the president, but it's not so much along D.C. But the Trump administration also said that they are looking at reclassifying marijuana as a less dangerous drug. President Trump said this during his news conference yesterday as well, that he estimates his administration will make the determination over the next few weeks. Marijuana has been a Schedule I drug since 1971, along the lines with other drugs like fent and heroin. But Trump's potential reclassification would continue efforts started by the Biden administration to make marijuana a Schedule III drug, which basically means there are some health benefits to it. A Schedule III designation wouldn't legalize marijuana, but it would lessen the criminal penalties surrounding it if it's not legal for recreational use in your state.
That's better. That's a step towards legalization, but just legalize it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Legalize it on the federal level.
It's so confusing what states are legal, what states is not illegal, and it's so many states states that you can do it, and you can do it medicinal in all states. So like you said, just legalize it.
Legalize it on a federal level, because you know what happens? You cause people to practice bad habits. Because if you're from like a New York, or New Jersey, or California, and you used to it being legal, you'll be in one of these states down south where it's not legal, not even thinking about it.
Get your ass locked
and next
up.
thing you know, you lock the hell up.
That's me.
That's you.
Sorry, Jess. All right, y'all. That's your front page news. And y'all can follow me on socials at Morgan Media. Make sure you check out the Black Information Network at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app and visit us at BINnews.com.
All right. Thank you, Morgan. Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open again. 800-585-1051. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Now, on my notes, it just says additional stories in sports. It says the NYPD is looking for a man that they said threw a sex toy at a WNBA game. It didn't make it to the court, but it hit a preteen girl with it.
That's a sex crime.
Crazy.
And he throw like a girl. Either that or he had the wackest seats in the building. He must have been in the nosebleeds. How your dildo can't reach the court?
That's crazy.
That sounds crazy.
That's
Everybody
crazy.
else dildo reach the court. His dildo ain't even reach the court. End up hitting a little preteen girl. Now you gonna get charged with a sex crime.
That's crazy. That's what amazing. Imagine you a dad at the game and then a dildo smack your door and they're like, you gotta. Oh my goodness.
By the way, that should be a free fade. That whoever, if I'm sitting there with my child at the game and she a preteen and she get hit with a dildo, I should be able to go up there and get a free fade with whoever threw it.
Absolutely. Dildo sticking out my door. Like, come on, man.
Man, you seen that video of that old man that was in the diner and the little boy was throwing food at his wife. He wasn't a little boy. He probably was a preteen too, or maybe a teenager. He was showing off with some girls throwing food at the old man's wife. Old man. That old man got up and beat the hell out that boy.
I
As he should have.
And then somebody came and broke it up. And then when somebody else came over and found out what the little boy did, he smacked him.
Damn.
Y'all ain't see that video?
No,
I gotta send y'all
send me
that
that
video.
video. What's up, Morgan?
Hey, all right, let's get into it. So President Trump is signing an executive order to extend a tariff truce with China for another 90 days. The truce struck in June during talks between U.S. and Chinese officials keep U.S. tariffs on most Chinese goods at 55%. The U.S. is in asking Beijing for a commitment to boost exports of rare earths to the U.S. So we'll continue to follow that and see what happens as a result over the next 90 days. Elsewhere, Texas State House has once again failed to reach a quorum after Democrats left the State House to stop a Republican-led redistricting effort. The House has been trying to reach that quorum since last week. Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott says DPS officers are searching in-state for Democrats and working with out-of-state authorities to see if they can help bring back those Democrats to the state. Let's take a listen to Texas Governor Greg Abbott's comments.
So we're looking for 12 Democrats to make sure we're going to be able to vote on these maps, as well as to address very important things such as helping the flood victims. And we are working with law enforcement and taking other actions in other parts of the country to see if we can uncover any Democrat who can be brought back to the state.
So Texas House Speaker Dustin Burrows, he also addressed the missing Democrats yesterday afternoon, adding that disaster bills will be brought to the floor today with or without Democrats present. Let's take a listen to Texas House Speaker Dustin Burrows.
You can go to another city, another state, even another time zone, but you cannot escape your responsibility to the people of Texas. Eventually, you will be here. Tomorrow, when the gavel drops, the question is simple. Will you be in that chair to vote for these critical disaster recovery bills, or will you be remembered as one who did not show up? The choice is yours.
Yes, as previously mentioned, the House has been trying to reach a quorum since last week. The new maps pushed by President Trump could give the GOP as many as 5 more U.S. House seats. Governor Abbott has asked the Supreme Court, the state Supreme Court, to declare the seat of the House Democratic Caucus chairman as vacant, as Jean Wu also left the state to Chicago with a number of other Democrats. So speaking of Chicago, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, is praising Texas Democrats who have fled the state in protest of redistricting efforts. In an interview over the weekend with NBC's Meet the Press, the Democratic governor said the action that they're taking is actually protecting Americans. Let's take a listen to Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker.
Standing up not just for their own constituents and for the people of Texas and their rights, but also for the rights of people all across the country. Because what Greg Abbott is doing and what Donald Trump is attempting to do is to cheat. The map that they put together it violates the Voting Rights Act. and it violates the Constitution.
So the FBI has reportedly agreed to help track down those Democrats, as Texas Governor Greg Abbott has requested, and he's also called for their arrest. Now, also, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, he's also spoke about a 2028 presidential run, or the possibility of one, and here's what he had to say when asked about it.
No matter what decisions I make, and I mean in particular about what I do here in the state of Illinois, is about the people of Illinois. Indeed, any future decisions of mine will always be guided by that.
So the governor also responded to a question about whether he was being hypocritical for criticizing Texas's redistricting plan when the vast majority of Illinois' congressional districts are Democratic. Well, Pritzker said that they held public and legislative hearings before a map was passed at the end of the census, which is what happens every 10 years, while Texas Republicans are changing the rules mid-decade at the request of President Trump. At the request of President Trump. So again, the census changes these maps every 10 years because, once you guys do the census, conduct the census, some of these congressional districts and maps will change over every 10 years. But they're saying that, the fact that they're doing it mid-decade, Texas Republicans, so that they can have that advantage in that 2026 midterm. So, and for my last story, I'll just say that forecasters are having us watch to just pay attention to Tropical Storm Aaron. Tropical Storm Aaron could become a hurricane by the end of the week. The storm is currently churning in the eastern Atlantic Ocean after forming just west of Cabo Verde Islands. The National Hurricane Center said Monday afternoon that Aaron's maximum sustained winds are nearly 45 miles per hour. The storm is expected to head westward toward the northeast Caribbean. It's too early to tell if the storm will impact the U.S. coast, but of course, like I said, we are keeping an eye on Tropical Storm Aaron and seeing how and hope. Well, let's just hope she doesn't grow into a hurricane, and because this is not what we need right now. But anyways, that's your front page news. I'm Morgan Wood. Y'all can follow me on socials at Morgan Media. That's MorganMedia. And for more news coverage, follow at Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app and visit us at BINnews.com. Thank y'all. Thank you.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.